the 28th of September, 1996.
Normal Saturday morning, I go in there and talk to the traders.
I never forget, I thought it would be a nice, easy day.
I'll be honest, I don't really remember that much, but like any normal big race, mornings, excited because obviously it was the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, massive mile race.
We went big.
I thought we'd just go there and it'd be, I only went with £2 in my pocket, and that was what we called in London case money. The case is that's what you had, £2.
I opened the racing post, I went through my rides and just had a pretty good idea, how the day was going to happen and what strategy we used for each race.
I came home, as I still do now, got home about 12 o'clock, bowler suit, that's my normal routine. In fact, it was a beautiful sunny day and I just lay on the bed watching the racing. I thought, must have been out the night before and had a few.
On the Saturday we tried to get as many rides as we can. And
I get a phone call, it said there's a horse running in this next race, one of Henry Cecil's, a horse called Mark of Esteem.
130 Mark of Esteem, 11-2 bar.
And it was a tremendous horse, he had a tremendous turn of foot, acceleration, and I was nervous.
We've got £20,000 in one single bet on it at 7-2. It will be interest for you. So I said, yeah. Just putting the phone down, and he says, oh, by the way, the Tories rode the first 2 winners. If it wins, it'll be no good in multiples.
100 yards left to go. Bosworthsham is grabbed now by Mark of Esteem. He's too good, the colt, and it's Mark of Esteem who goes on to win the QE2 stakes.
To me, it was job done, I came to the races, won the first 2, plus I won the biggest race of the day, Queen Elizabeth, and now, now you're on a high, you're full of joy, and big smile on my face, and off we go to race number 4.
Then, for the first time in 20 years, I get a phone call, can you come back to the office? It's getting a bit out of hand here, so I knew if they asked me to go back to the office, it must be hot. And the phones were ringing off the hook. I think we had about 200 shops at that time. But all the lines were blocked. We just did not know. People could not get through. It wasn't computerized like it is now. So the 4th one wins.
I was still feeding off the buzz of the big race, so I'll be honest with you, I don't really quite remember riding that race.
But it's going to be 4 out of 4 for Frankie Dettori as Decorated Hero goes on to win well by 4 lengths.
Fred rang me and said, Pete, we've got a bit of a problem. Frankie Dettori's rode 4 winners and you need to get down here because we've got a fortune rolling up. We don't know how much we've got rolling up.
So the next thing is, Peter comes down to the office.
I probably won 4 in a day, but to win the first 4 I don't think I ever did.
And it's going to be 5 out of 5 for Frankie. What a day. Faithfully gets there.
So by the time I got down to head office, which was in Worcester at the time, the 5th horse had won.
The phones are like crazy.
We had absolutely no idea what our liability was. No idea. The shops couldn't get through to tell us. I don't even think the shops knew what the liability was.
And I'm trying to keep calm in front of the staff. The last thing you want to do is show your nerve in any way. So you're putting on a face there, and my brother's pacing up and down like Felix the cat.
Got ready for the 6th, then I started to panic. Not panic, but it really hit me.
The understarted orders, they're off.
Jesus, this is, I'm 1 away from equaling a record. A record what is in 350 years is only done by Gordon Richard, Alex Russell and Willie Carson to win 6 races in a day.
It's 6 out of 6 for Frankie as Lock Angel gets there.
But 6-1 wins, now we're really in it. You can't cover, because in the 7th race, we'd laid the horse in the 7th race at 12-1. That was the morning prize.
I was still winning after 5 races because I was only playing small, and then all of a sudden the 6-1 won, and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, there's a chance for you here, boy. Don't forget I was only a market trader, really, selling flowers in Level Lane Market in Oban. And I thought, this is my chance to be a millionaire. You know what I mean? And the horse in question, Fujiyama Quest, was 20-1. And the first bet I laid was 40,000 at 4-1. Now, bearing in mind, 40,000, you've got 160,000 loss. I had £2 in my pocket.
I couldn't believe it. How people were so stupid to back this horse that basically I thought he couldn't win because he was out of form, top weight. But, you know, obviously it's my job. I have to go out there and try to win. So, but I absolutely had no pressure whatsoever.
And once I took the first bet, you know, what do? You just got carried away, and I went on and on and on and on and on. And just as the race was off, I had my clerk who was with me, and he couldn't move, and he said, "You know what you're doing?" And I never knew really what I was doing. I just got involved in it, and I had a loser for £1.4 million.
The bell rings and you hear the crowd. All of a sudden the crowd screams and hits you, and everybody's going mad. And all I could hear is just a lot of noise. We passed the two, and we got to the one, and all I could hear is the crack of the whip of Patel doing whack, whack, and I could hear him coming. And the horse was getting tired, I'm getting tired, now he's slowing down, he's coming to get me, the crowd is screaming.
It's Fujiyama Crest under top weight, a half in front, he's going to do it. Frankie Dettori, 7 out of 7, it's a history maker. Frankie Dettori on Fujiyama Crest.
So all 7, so we know we're in the soup now.
When that 7th horse won, we literally did not know whether we'd still be in business.
It was a sense of disbelief, I'll be honest with you. You know, I really didn't realise what I did.
It never really hit home, and then on the Sunday, I went back on the Sunday, and as soon as I went in to get my pitch, Sue Barker got me for the BBC, and on the morning of that day, everyone said that I was the villain of racing, because all the big boys, the William Hills, the Ladbrokes, the Coles, the bookmakers said if it wasn't for me standing up against Fujiyama Crest, the SP would have been even money. And I stood up against it, and the SP was 2-1. Everyone went against me except one man, and that one man was Fred Doan, who really and truthfully, who knew who Fred Doan was. I was a southerner, and Fred was pretty big up north, but not down south.
Give the instructions to the shops. Do not leave the shops tonight until you phone your liability. We want to know how much you've got to pay out on Monday.
We didn't know whether it'd be $1 million or 20 million. We literally didn't know that we'd still be in business on a Monday morning.
So we got the liability at 7:30, and the liability that we still had to pay out on the Monday. Remember, we've got hammered on the Saturday and we paid a lot of it out, but it was about $2.5 million still to pay.
We thought, we can live with that, we can handle it.
There's so many people coming up to me, oh, I've won 10,000, I won 8,000, I won 50,000, I won, 2 people won $500,000, and people with £5, £2, 50p's, I mean, it was like mad.
We sent the video of all 7 winners to all winning customers over £10,000. We sent them a bottle of champagne and a box of cigars, and there was one old lady in Salford who had a 50p each way 7-timer, just an accumulator, and she drew, I think it was 35,000, or it didn't have a clue what she was getting. £
40 million were lost by bookmakers. Moved the stock market. Well, it was mental. Like.
I'd done every penny I had. My house went, my cars went. It took me 4 years to pay back.
I put up a photograph of Frankie Dettori with the caption, "Last seen in the Ascot area, reward dead or alive, I don't care which."